All right, today I think we're gonna finish our script. I think I gotta finish testing Hyprland. I really wish there was a better way to test the Hyprland script other than a fresh install, because VMs just don't work very well with Hyprland. So, uh, yeah, that's unfortunate. Also, did a reconfiguration here in the old studio. We got a new microphone. Well, old microphone that's somewhat new. And then we also have new lighting. Well, another light. I got like 7 different lights now, but I don't know. I wanted like this side of my face lit up, but this side dark. I don't know. I feel like maybe it should be over here and up higher. I don't know. I'll play with it a little bit. Either way, it's all good. Hugh, how's it going? Good morning. Let's get old chat up. I was going to get on a little earlier, but it seemed like Twitch, from a broadcaster's perspective, they were having some outage issues. So I actually ended up pushing it back about an hour or so while we get that. Also, I am doing an Arch Linux update real fast. It's been a little bit since my last Arch Linux update. Got 3 drinks going. Got my water. Got my coffee. And then I also got my V8 carbonated water. Oh, that's weird. Rackspace mirror. Operation too slow. Less than 1 byte seconds transferred over the last 10 seconds. That's interesting. Rackspace. You always gotta have coffee. Although, as I've gotten older, this is kind of embarrassing. It's such an old man thing to say. But as I've gotten a little older, I can't drink any caffeine after 3 p.m. It messes with my sleep. So I'm like, that's awful. That sucks to be me on that. But it's alright. And drink a little Metamucil in the morning, too. Hey. It's just old man things. But, you know, I feel good. Did you see the discussion on the thread of WinUtil repo? You have an easy fix for that? Oh, let's see, Chris. Let's just see what the old thread is on discussions, you said. Term repair winget not recognized by the name command letter function. Yeah, that's his 24H2 and above. So this isn't recognizable on older versions of Windows 11 and I think also Windows 10. I think on Windows 10 24H2 and above it does work. Is this what you're talking about? Yeah. So, well, this requires Windows 11 10 to be on 24H2 and above. Let's see what else. Is there some other one that I'm missing? Or was that the one you were talking about? Yeah, so the repair winget package manager should be there. If it's not there, it means you modified Windows incorrectly. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, 24H2 is kind of a hot mess, but I got news for you. 25H2, buckle up. It's way worse than 24H2. 25H2 is absolutely the epitome of a raging dumpster fire gone completely out of control. You're about to find out when you fire half of your knowledgeable, tenured programmers and then turn those jobs over to AI, what happens. Video drops tomorrow on that. But let's just say Windows is about to be just an absolute shitstorm on updates on 25H2. Put that off. If you're a professional, make sure you got your GPOs set. You update to 25H2, you're going to have a bad time. And I'm talking bad. It's the worst update I think I've ever seen Microsoft release. That's a bold statement. I mean, there was 1809 that just deleted everybody's documents, if you remember the introduction of storage spaces and the shit show that was. Microsoft, man. That's okay. That's why I get paid the big dollars. So thanks, Microsoft, for sucking as bad as you have for so long. I appreciate you, even though no one else does. Oh, that's all you did? Well, it should work then. So, like, if you pull that up here, I think I actually have a micro in. Oh, actually, I think I actually did that for the video. I was actually on Linux during my video on the last one. I think we have a micro in, yeah. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's pull it up, old Christoph. Let's you see. Oh, the Microsoft Xbox Edition ISO. Yeah, that'll be interesting too. Ooh. All right. Do we have dark mode? Why am I on light mode? Gross. Oh, I gotta activate. Oh, I am live streaming to YouTube. Okay, well, since I'm on YouTube, I don't feel like getting banned. Yeah, give me a second here. We gotta visit the graveyard where there's mass graves. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah, those who know, know. Oh, jeez. I would love to make a video about that, but man, talk about getting a takedown as quick as possible. Oh my word. It would not take long. Let's see, we are on old Windows. Yeah, especially now that they are using AI filters. Yeah, it's just immediate. Like Jeff Geerling had a legit video get taken down, so it's like, what the hell? And then he peeled it, and then they don't even have humans doing the peels anymore. So Jeff Geerling just got completely screwed. And Jeff's like the coolest. He's probably my most favorite YouTuber I've met in real life, at least one of, because he is just an amazing individual, just a stand-up guy, super nice. Just, I can't say enough good things about Jeff Geerling. Just an amazing guy. And, yeah. I'm just like, oh. If they're doing that to him, gotta watch your P's and Q's. Anything that could, go wrong, man. You gotta watch out. The YouTube's gonna get you. The Google gods are gonna get you. All right, let's get out of here just in case something happens. All right, miraculously. I went and bought my $200 activation. True story. Trust me, bro. Got it done. Anyways, let's personalize this now. Dark mode. Sweet. Yeah, they did him dirty, though, on that video. And it was over, like, a Raspberry Pi with, I think it was just hosting your own media. You know, like, getting off of, like, big tech streaming and stuff like that. So, there was nothing, not even close to controversial. And they were like, this is actively harmful. I'm like, oh, Google. It's the deal with the devil, man. Deal with the devil. You're fine here unless you're promoting terrorists. I think you're still fine. I think you're still fine on Twitch on the promoting terrorists. I think you only get like a 24-hour ban. And you flash your hoo-ha, you might be banned for 48 hours. or 72 if you go really, really off the deep end. But I mean, Twitch, you pretty much whatever. It's not like Amazon cares about Twitch at all. The only reason they bought Amazon was just to get the IVR, or the hosted streaming that they could sell to tons of people. And you know, they make more money off of Kick than they do of Twitch, which is funny. You know, it's just like big tech things are there. I still find it's humorous that they make more money off of Kick than they do off Twitch. Just some back end work there, because they use Amazon's IVR services, same as Twitch, but Twitch uses it at cost, so there's no actual gain of money there, where Kick pays the premium. So Kick actually makes Amazon more money than Twitch does. That's funny. No, Amazon doesn't own Kick. Kick uses Amazon IVR. Do you know what IVR is? I guess that's a better thing. Oh, sure. Oh, you have set this as defaults. Yeah. Okay. Amazon IVR. Was it IVR? Oh, maybe I'm saying the wrong one. No, it's not IVR. It's what is video streaming? Video streaming service, AWS. VOD on demand. No. Why am I drawing a blank? IVS. There it is. I'm sorry. I was saying IVR. Yeah, so they use Amazon IVR, IVS. And this is what Kick uses. So Kick pays Amazon through the nose for every single stream that gets put up there. So this is what they use. You can actually go through pricing, and you can see how much they probably get, like a wholesale discount, obviously. So they'll probably do some kind of discount pricing for the streams. But we're talking, they're shilling out several dollars for every stream every hour, or maybe probably like an hour. Let's say they get a 50% discount. But every hour of streaming that happens on Kick, they're paying Amazon $1, essentially. You do the math. That's a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money. So a little fun fact that most streamers and other folks don't really understand about the current landscape of big tech. Everyone owns everything. Everybody uses the same 4 or 5 people. And they own everything. And even if they don't own it, they own patents or parts of things. So they get paid regardless. Like another thing, a little more controversial take. And I'll get to the Windows utility here. Let's just launch Winget actually while I'm talking. Another controversial thing is Windows doesn't make Microsoft that much money. I think Microsoft could make just as much money off of Linux, and they actually do make more money off of Linux than they do Windows. If you look at their Azure offering, a lot of the things that Microsoft does, they actually do make more money off of Linux than Windows. So going down this train of thought, maybe Microsoft is killing Windows on purpose, and then they're going to transition all their stuff over to Unix for money. They could make more money in Linux than they could in Windows. I think that there's an actual use case for this. And also, Microsoft doesn't really need to make any products. They have tons and tons of patents that can float them for decades as a company, where they're just getting tons of free money. So there's so much in the back end people just don't understand about big tech. It's not like they have one marquee product that, yeah, Windows is what probably Microsoft's best known for, but does it make them as much money? Not really. I mean, it still is a good chunk of their revenue stream, but it's not, I think it's like 15%, 20% these days. It's not really as much as you think. Search, oh, actually, let's just do repair. No, not Windows image. What was the repair? can't remember. You know what? Let's just do... I will just grab it and then look at it. Oh, I don't have any of my tools. That's okay. Don't need any tools. Let's edit this notepad. Oh, what was it? Oh, repair when you get package manager. So this is what you were talking about. Select commandlet's not there anymore. Did it get changed? Did it get moved? Let's go to terminal. Oh, you know what? I bet you that is only in PowerShell 7. Oh, come on, man. That's why they don't bother with the graveyard. Agreed. I think it's just trying to get people installing Windows as much as possible. I really... there's so many like things about the activation and DRM in Windows that has just gotten stupid now, where it's like nobody ever asks how to crack Windows anymore, because anybody that is in the IT field could tell you in about 2 seconds. You know, you run one command, you hit one number, Windows is activated on any system, on any package. Like, they are not trying very hard to DRM almost any Microsoft product, where it used to be 30,000 times worse. So if they're just giving away their products anymore, it's more about probably vendor lock-in. And even then, I'm not even sold on the vendor lock-in. I think they're just trying to just capture as many users as they can, and then I'm sure resell data is a large part of the revenue model. But also, like, Azure and the Linux section has grown just so much. Shit, I think GitHub's like 2% of the revenue now. So GitHub has actually grown a lot as well as far as our revenues go. I think I got to relaunch. Let's try. I'll actually run my utility real fast. I can't remember the regedit off the top of my head for. I'm convinced they can't produce anything quality anymore. I think you're right. So I know. Yeah, I kind of think we should set Windows PowerShell 7 as a standard as well. I kind of agree with you. Some of the people I knew at Microsoft, or know at Microsoft, I know several people. We've even had a prominent Microsoft employee donate some code to our illustrious Windows utility script. So I got some ins. And then I've talked to many other ex-Microsoft employees now. One just got laid off a couple weeks ago. And these people had careers at Microsoft for 10 plus years. And it's really interesting to see how they've downsized many of the engineers, many of the programmers, the people that made Microsoft create quality products, no longer work there. A lot of them have moved on. And I think their hiring is more focused around a boys club, MBAs, some external. So sometimes they can get good programmers outside of America using a variety of different political things. I don't want to get too political here. But for the most part, it's very difficult for them to create good products anymore. I think Steve Jobs said it best, you know. Many times these marketing guys get into these companies and they ruin them. It happened in the late 70s, early 80s with the dominance of the monopolies of IBM and Xerox. And you saw the rise of Microsoft and Apple during this period of time. I think another renaissance is upon us. I think we're going to see the death of many of these big companies, or not necessarily the death, but the slow decline, and then you're going to start to see pop-ups. Now, the thing that I don't know that's different from the 80s compared to now is you have much more like late-stage capitalism going on. You have people creating companies to just sell to these big companies, so they just absorb them and pay, you know, a 10, 20 million, $100 million, whatever it is, to absorb that company, so then it kills that startup, or they just absorb that talent, or keep that monopoly going. So that does happen with much of these big companies, because you got to remember they have just more money than many countries. You Microsoft, Apple, they all have more than $1 trillion of liquidity at their disposal, so they can buy and do many things. So there's some nuance to all this, but I think there's a lot of money to be made during this period of time, and I think we will see the rise of some other people creating great things. It's just what happens to those great things. Do they get absorbed? Do they spin off and make another big giant company if they're really passionate and they don't care about money? That could happen. But again, I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting time, but I'm actually looking forward to the future. You know, I think we're coming to a pivot, and I'm excited. And open source is in a great spot right now. You know, that's the great thing is there's so many cool tools at our disposal. I know a lot of people like are all doom and gloom about, oh my God, big tech owns everything. They run everything. Yeah, that's pretty much true. But dang, there's a lot you can do. There is so much you can do and make now that is just not feasible as a one-man team 10 years ago. Hell, even 5 years ago, it was difficult compared to today. You can do so much. And that's where I'm like, I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, damn, what am I going to do today? There's just so much to do, and you can go anywhere, and there's just so many opportunities everywhere. And I'm really excited. I'm jazzed for what the future holds and kind of what that looks like. So don't take it as like, oh my God, this is the end, kind of thing. It's a great clickbait title and stuff, and I might use that title. But at the same time, it's like, well, there's still quite a bit you can do. All right, let's go switch to regular PowerShell. So regular PowerShell, let's go repair winget. Is that there? In PowerShell 7? No love. What? Let's go WinVer. Yeah, we're 24H2. Did something change? I just tested this like a month ago. I mean, leave it to Microsoft to change some shit like this, like put something in and then just take it back out. Typical Microsoft. So, I mean, it's not like that strange. But I am not hallucinating. On stream, we tested this on 24H2, and that was there. Did it get removed in WinGit, maybe? That's more plausible explanation. Let's do a stock install and test. That's so weird. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Christoph, you got a point here. Chris, this is why I dislike permissive licenses. These licenses let evil corps take your code, make something evil and proprietary with it. Yeah, I mean, it depends, Ahmed. I agree with you. Licensing is something that's really interesting. Like, MIT license, I believe on the Windows utility, I put as an MIT license because, shit, I mean, it's essentially just using Microsoft products. I don't really care. And if someone wants to try and like take my product and then like make something and resell it, good fucking luck, man. I'm updating this damn thing every week. Every week there's a new thing that pops out, something stupid that happens that Microsoft does. And it's really the community and myself that's constantly putting in the time here to fix this, to make it to where it keeps cleaning up Windows. There's no company that works that fast, that has that quick of a cycle rate that could actually maintain it. So any company can take my stuff. You can try to profit. You might be able to do it for a time, but not very long before that shit just breaks. And you're going to have to keep copying. And then you run the risk of me finding out, hey, you're copying and doing this, and then you get outed, and then it's just a bad look all the way around. It's just not worth, the juice ain't worth the squeeze there. So yeah, I'm not worried about that with like Windows utility. So MIT makes sense in that regard, but like there's times where GPL makes more sense for some open source projects. Maybe in the Linux utility realm, I should have probably done GPL looking at the license, where I think that one is fine. Oh, did we never finish that? Oh, we're doing an Arch Linux update on the background too. What's the Linux utility look like? I need to do more coding on the Linux utility too. So Linux utility is in MIT as well. I mean, I guess if I was a professional programmer, I probably would use GPL a little more, or possibly just do all rights reserved, you know, just a very strict licensing to where you can maybe download my code for free, but you can't redistribute it or use it in your own works. If I was a professional programmer and I was selling that code to something, I would do that. But the way I work is I'm not a professional programmer. I make a lot of money programming, but mostly from an educational standpoint, and mostly from like this stream, you know? So my revenue streams are not from this. It's mostly from donations. So for me, it's like, hey, I want you to be able to steal my code and use it. If you want to take something you see here and then go make $1 million with my code, I think that's pretty cool. But again, I'm not a company. I'm not trying to make a ton of money doing this. And frankly, if I can give you some skills or give you some code that helps improve your life, I think that's awesome. So as much as I think some people are rightfully so wanting to get paid for the work they do, for me, the reward is, there's some monetary reward with donations and things of that nature, but there's probably even a bigger reward knowing, hey, I made someone a lot of money. I think that's cool too. I've done very well for myself in my career before I did any social media crap, and you know, I just like coming on here and talking with y'all, you know. So I'm a professional vibe developer. Positive vibes only, man. Positive vibes. No, I don't think you did, Chris. I think that was a legit issue with MicroWin. Here, I'm going to launch into the stock version of Windows 11 now. So this is a stock version without MicroWin. I think, if I'm a guessing man, I bet you something happened with... Something happened when I think we ripped out that repair feature in MicroWin. I bet you that happened. So just don't see Microsoft just adding a feature and then removing it. I mean, now I said it out loud, that kind of sounds silly. They've done that a lot, actually. But I mean, this just happened in 24H2, so I don't think it happened that quickly. Right? So this is the stock version, non-debloated, non-microwin, just straight from the horse's mouth as they intended. God, it's atrocious. I need to find a way to make money from your code. Well, one of the things that I'm really proud of from the community, oops. Oh, that's right, we're in here. Let's first test this. God bless. What a just terrible start. Talk about a bad product out of the box. Anyways, win, repair, win. Huh. Repair winget is not there. So it's not there. Okay, never mind. Let's update. Huh. That's odd. Chris getting royalties from his code. That would be great. Yeah, just jump on Twitch or YouTube and just send some super chats or donos my way. I appreciate that. Please, thanks. Cool. I'm not worried about it though. I think you can rip any of my code, whatever, use it. Both WinUtil and LinUtil under MIT license, completely permissive. So you can take it. You can put it in a closed source product. You can use it at your job. You can do whatever you want with it. So if you see anything, go for it, you know? There's nothing. I've had a couple of emails from people. Probably my favorite email was actually from an MIT professor. And he said he really liked the Linux utilities TUI. Because right now, like if you're not familiar with like a lot of Linux tools, most of them use Whiptail and Zenity and some other older, like uglier terminal UIs that are just not very good. That's the TUI. And what we created with Linux utility is all written in Rust, and it has a very modular structure, so you can do a bunch of stuff with bash scripting and creating your own menus in it relatively simply. And he was like, hey, you mind if I use this? I don't want to actually grab any of your bash scripts. I just want to use the core and the TUI from it, and I want to just kind of do my own thing. And I was like, have at it, man. Go to town. I'm flattered. Because that was technically my first Rust project I've ever created. And I can't even say I created it. It really was the community that created it. All I did was manage the damn thing. Thoughts on React OS? You know, maybe in a couple more decades, React OS will get there. It's kind of funny. Okay, so V41 says, I have repair winget package manager command, and I just did a fresh normal Win11 install, but it only works in PS7. Okay, so PowerShell 7, probably the latest update, you should have it. Okay, that makes sense. I know it was a pretty new command, and we have failbacks on that command, so it should be fine. Well, that makes sense. Here, I'm going to shut this guy down. I'm not sitting here waiting for stupid Windows updates for the next God knows how long. Where's that? Ah, my monitor. It's like right in here, right? Come on. Oh no. Come on, let me Control Alt L, Control Alt F5 L. Damn it. You know, if I broke down how much money I've been paid over the past 20 years to just sit here and stare at this damn screen over here, right there. Well, different iterations of that screen. It's a lot. It really is a lot. Like, a lot. Hurry up and wait. Yeah, and I was even talking to somebody the other day about this. I was like, what makes a great technician from a poor technician, or even like a mediocre technician? Patience. Believe it or not, I think a lot of people in the IT field, what separates the good from the greats is just having the patience to know, hey, should I just shut this thing down? Should I just kill this process? Or should I just sit here and wait for it to finish? And even if that means 30 minutes of my time when the company might be losing a lot of money. Like, that call is probably one of the most difficult calls you have to make. And it's also, like, if you ever have like a senior, like, manager, like, or a VP standing over your shoulder, or you're going, what the hell's going on? We're losing money because the systems are down or whatever. And then you have to make the call to say, we just have to sit here and look at some screen like this for about 10 minutes or 30 minutes, something like that, in there. And be like, oh, dude, well, we need this up now. I'm like, I know, but if I completely shut this down right this second, it might not come back up, or it might even be worse. So what do we want to do? And that is probably some of the hardest decisions I've had to make in my career. When I'm like, is it locked up? I don't really want to cold boot that sand. That would be a bad idea. But it is not responsive. Anyways, I don't know how I got on that rant. All right. Oh, you're still upgrading Arched over too. He'll lose money for 30 minutes or corrupt the server. He'll lose a day or more. True. You'd be shocked how many people make the wrong decision there. Because under the circumstances, sometimes it's hard to just sit there and go, this might not be good. Let's just sit here and stare at this screen. And that's hard, especially when you're under a lot of stress. This evening, update stream. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's turned into a full update stream, hasn't it? It is now safe to power off your computer. Hold XP, man. That was my first cert. That was my first cert. Was MCP, Microsoft Certified Professional. I got the shirt to prove it too. One of these days I'll have to wear it on stream. That would be good. My MCP shirt from Windows XP. I think I still got it in there. Need to probably go through my clothes and throw it out, but there's gonna be a video where I'm gonna need that shirt, I think. I am a shill. Microsoft shill. $8 GB. How long you wait before update? 10 minutes. Should be fine. Which bricked my friend's laptops because I couldn't wait for Windows to finish booting. Well, that's funny. Why doesn't Steam play all games in Windows 11? It doesn't seem to load Football Manager 2014. Well, it depends. On the older games, especially games for Windows Live, actually plays better in Linux than Windows. Some of them have been patched since then. Like, I think Fallout 3 has seen an overhaul of the launch process. But once upon a time, I remember, not even long ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, Fallout 3 damn near only worked in Linux. Even though it was a game, it was a game for Windows Live service, Fallout 3 was, and it really worked great in Linux because all the scripts were already built in and the bypasses, and it was really easy to set up with Lutris, where It didn't in Windows, but I believe Steam patched all that, and they finally got rid of most of the games for Windows Live crap. I could be wrong, but that was pretty funny. But probably Football Manager might have fallen into that era. What do you think of Nobara going rolling release? I think I missed that news. Nobara going rolling release? Really? I mean, it was kind of already there with Fedora. Let's see. Brave is now the default browser. Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, Brave's fine. I used it for a good year or two. Nobara Package Manager has been unpinned from the favorites. Okay. You know, I think from a package manager perspective, I hate all GUI package managers for Linux. They all kind of just suck. Have you ever noticed that? Like, Discover, just awful. Gnome's one's like, eh. And then any of the other ones I've tried has just been atrocious. Maybe Yast, to a lesser extent, has been probably the best. But even Yast has some issues. But I like Zipper from a package manager perspective too, and that's OpenSUSE, super obscure. I think the only ones that work really well is the implementation like Steam Deck did with SteamOS. Making most of it come from Flatpaks seems like a good way to avoid many of the issues. Anyways, let's look at this. Plasma, Discover, and GNOME software have been replaced with Flatpost. Flatpost is a new in-house developed one-stop shop for Flatpaks. Speaking of which, it's been able to handle installation, removing, upgrading, and permissions for Flatpaks and Flatpak repository management. I'll have to check out Flatpost. That is very interesting. Yeah, no thanks. What? Get out of here. I've always used Flatseal for managing permissions in Flatpaks. Flatseal does this amazing. You should find it provides all the same permission toggles as Flatseal. Ah, well, there we go. If I kept reading, I would have figured that out. So cool, Flatpost. I'm gonna have to try that out. Glorious Egg Roll makes some good stuff too, so I think we'll give that a whirl. Nobara is officially rolling release. 41 was to announce the first iteration of receiving rolling release updates moving forward. As such, users have already received all of Nobara 42 packages. So how Fedora worked before, since Nobara is a fork of Fedora, is it would always stay that. So that means it's going from Fedora stable to probably Fedora testing or something of that nature, and then grabbing those packages after Glorious Egg Roll approves them. That's interesting. I kind of like that. I mean, it's more of the Arch structure. And everyone knows how much I love Arch. So that's interesting. Mesa has been patched with additional fixes for Wayland and Doom the Dark Ages. We have updated driver manager, Vulkan drivers. Okay. Easily choose and swap between any NVIDIA drivers, any branch, production, beta, new feature. And then he rolled up some of the desktop environments, Mesa, and kernel. That's cool. I think those are good changes, all in all. Yeah, and Glorious Egg Roll has always been just such a lightning rod for most of the gaming community in Linux, like the Linux desktop community. I think that's great. Check out Quick Shell from Mount Fox. That's what I'm using, dude. You're looking at Quick Shell. So, well, here. Let's go ps aux grep Quick Shell. Boom. Or boom, Quick Shell. Right there. we're using it right now. But yeah, I like it. Quick Shell's neat. I still kind of like Xorg compared to Wayland. I'm just really trying to get a configuration of Wayland that I enjoy. And I think using just the base configuration of Hyprland with Quick Shell, where I have a really basic menu right here where I can click and like do my things. I see CPU usage. I see my volume usage. Like, this is all very basic stuff that I wrote. I got all my workspaces. You know, that's not so bad. And I like the live reloading. So I was able to kind of replicate my minimal setup that I like in DWM using Xorg in Wayland. And I've had way less issues than I had with any other rice I've used to date. So today was supposed to be, and it still is, the Hyprland script. So I kind of wanted to do that, which would be kind of cool. Yeah, and i3 is good. i3 is solid. Like, it has insane defaults from out of the box kind of configuration. How soon can you fix out the WinGet repair? Pretty soon. Probably a month. Oh, like if you don't want to reinstall Windows, just set PowerShell to 7, and then WinGet repair, I think we can grab. Install WinGet repair, WinGet repair, WinGet. What was the package name again? Repair WinGet package manager. So you should be able to get it with this command. Let's test this real fast since we have it already over here. Oh, actually, I think we can just launch it. Let's go microwin run. Open. So what we can do is import that module. So we'll go terminal with admin. First, make sure this is obviously PowerShell 5. We need to be PowerShell 7. So that's the first thing. And then you want to go import module. What was that? Microsoft WinGet client. So then, was it name? Name. Microsoft WinGet client. Where am I going to get that? I think we probably could do like a NuGet. Yeah, let's do an install. I think we don't need to do... I think we could just do this right here. We don't need the rest of that crap. So just install the module first. Then import the module. And then you should have repair WinGet package manager. Bam. Those are the commands you need right there. So to fix it today, Christoph, what you need to do is an install just like this. So you're going to go install -module. Here, let me just do a gist for you. I gist. Or gist. Shit, I failed English class. I remember when I told, like, one of my good friends growing up, I told him I was on YouTube, and I was doing YouTube videos. He's like, you're kidding, dude. You failed freaking English class, and you can't speak to practically anyone, and you're awkward as hell. How does that make any sense? I'm like, I don't know. I just started recording crap and putting it online, and people just watched. It was weird. Repair to the repair Winget package manager. We'll call this repair Winget PS1, and we'll do this first. And then we're gonna go import module name Microsoft Winget client, and then we're gonna do a repair Winget package manager. Create public. Bam. Spam. All right, there we go. Put it in chat for everybody. Here you go. So if you are missing that that repair command, that PS1 file, just run that script, or you can just copy paste if you don't want to download it. That should fix you up. This repairs the repair fix for repairing Winget package manager, the thing they added in the latest update to Windows. So if you're like on a little older version, you could use this to add the feature to repair Winget package manager. It's the inception of repairs. And PowerShell's not so bad. I know it gets a bad rap, but I've used it for so long, I kind of dig it. You know what I'm saying? It's not so bad. Yeah. It's kind of funny, like, the rebranding of it. I know I like to call a lot of Microsoft engineers crackheads, but that's just because they kind of do drugs and they make really weird decisions while sometimes making something cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I like PowerShell. But like going from Windows PowerShell in PowerShell 5 to PowerShell Core, Microsoft PowerShell Core is I think the brand name of it, in PowerShell 7.5 or 7. So like the difference, you're like, okay, well it's PowerShell 5 and PowerShell 7. What the hell's the difference? Well, the big difference is PowerShell 5 only worked on Windows, and PowerShell 7 works on Linux and Windows. So you have like PWSH. So let's say you wanted to install it over here. One second, let me finish this. Are we still upgrading Arch? Shit, the stream's been going on for like an hour. I guess I hadn't been paying much attention to this update, but I'm sure it's fine. Can we add Scoop along with Chocolatey and Winget as well? I think so. Eventually we would add Scoop. I love Scoop. The Scoop team's amazing. I think it has been a little bit since my last Arch update. Just Linux things. It's not something I really concern myself with that much. You know? It's like, I'll update it when I get around to it. I'm a Linux user. I don't have to update. I update when I want to update. By golly. And that's what we're going to do. Although I will say, I really do like the Bazzite Linux kernel. So good. so darn good. It fixed so many issues I had with certain games. Oh, man. Hey, there we go. So I don't think I have PowerShell, but let's say you want to install PowerShell. I think it's PWSH. No. What is it? PowerShell. That's for the AUR? Ew. I don't want to install it from the AUR. Oh well. De la vie. Let's go. What do we want to do today? I don't know. Sometimes I just like getting on here and just tinkering around in Linux and just be like, let's see where it takes us. Let's see where the Linux gods directs us today. What are we doing? So now we are in PowerShell in Linux. So now you can do all kinds of cool stuff. Git volume. Trying to think of I'm like, what PowerShell command would I use in Linux? What kind of git commands do we have? All right, we have git credentials. Yeah, I guess you could do a git credentials and then like remote in to like O365. That would be a good implementation of it. You could go PS drive and see drive spaces. You could do run spaces, I guess. I don't know. Get uptime. What's that look like? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that works. It's not great, but, you know. Yes? No, that's just a diffuser kit. It's only like 20 bucks. It should just be like a little small package of stuff.
Check how many you got. There's the small box.
Holy talkie mushrooms, man.
Alright, so just double check that you didn't accidentally buy two. I mean, if you got 2 for 1, that's great.
2 for 1, free. Okay, I will. All right. I'm waiting on this guy. I started the stream without it. You just never know what's in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? Maybe don't use a Phillips to undo that. Where's my knife? Whatever. I don't know what happened to my knife. All right. Install that. You got clips. Then you got that. Huh. So, this should be pretty cool. All right. Huh. Okay. What's this thing? These look like clips. Oh. Oh. Okay. These just go clip on. That's kind of cool. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. 3 more. 2 more, actually. Okay. And then it's gonna make everything really tie everything together. RTFM. Who wants to read the manual? Come on, jeez. Best just to rip into it, I always find. So then goes on here like so. Ooh, before I do this, let's see. Oh, yeah. That works out good. Done and done. Look at that lighting. It's so much better now. See all the contours. I don't know if I noticed any difference, but anyways, that was fun. Was there any attempt to have a Linux subsystem for Windows, or is it just wine? You probably mean Windows subsystem for Linux, right? Why not, or I guess, yeah, Linux subsystem for Windows. Yeah. So it'd be LSW instead of WSL. Yeah. Yeah, you got it right. I have a theory. Well, WSL is what Windows uses, right? That's a Windows subsystem for Linux. But you could do Linux subsystem for Windows. And the Linux subsystem for Windows would be like Wine, but instead of being independently developed, Microsoft will be the one to create it. And that would be able to play Adobe products, Microsoft products, all kinds of products that currently aren't available, right? Let's just dare to dream, shall we? Let's say Microsoft went full drug mode and was like, hey, let's just forget about the last 30 or 40 years of vendor lock-in and the ruthless business practices of Bill Gates and all his hard work of killing companies and probably people. And let's just make Windows applications work on Linux. I think there's a future where this happens. I think when all of the old guard of Microsoft leaves or dies, I think that will happen. And I know some people are like, but why? If we look at the actual revenue stream, Microsoft revenue pie chart 2024. So if we look at the actual revenue for this, You can see server products and plus cloud services accounts for 40% of their $250 billion of revenue. 22% comes from office products and cloud services. 10% Windows. 9% gaming, that's Xbox. 7%'s LinkedIn. Holy shit, LinkedIn makes 7% of their revenue? What the hell? Huh. 5% search and news ad. 3% enterprise and partner services. That's like, you call in to get like a support on your Microsoft product. And then 2% devices like Microsoft Surface. And I think this is a little dated because I remember seeing GitHub carving out like a percent or two. Over half of it is from the United States. Let's see if there's another one too. I want to say there was another revenue breakdown. Negative. Here, right from Microsoft. Here we go. It's not really broken down well. I mean, I want to say GitHub was on one of these. I really wanted to see that one. Yeah, it's just the same stats over and over. But, I mean, there's not much variance here. Thought we would see something a little more. Yeah, this is older. You can see how it's transitioned over the years. But for the most part, yeah, it's kind of like that's probably the best. Yeah, this is probably my favorite graphic. Let's see. Let's get on old LinkedIn here. Good Lord. 99 notifications networking. Okay. Anyways. I think this is kind of cool. So this kind of shows you, this was from 1 year ago. 37% Microsoft Azure. So most of their stuff's coming from Linux. So I was right on the money there. Their old guard, which championed Windows and Office products. But Office has really moved a lot into the cloud too with O365 and some of the offerings there. So that's 22.9. 7%'s Xbox. 7%. Dang, LinkedIn makes almost as much money as Xbox. That's probably the biggest shocker here to me. That's just, what? What the hell? That blows my mind. Huh. Anyways, then Bing pulling in a cool 12 billion. Enterprise services 7.7, about 3%. Devices 2%, along with Dynamics, which is like Power BI and crap like that, I think. Or did Power BI get renamed to Dynamics? That's like an analytics service. And then others is just a small fraction of that. Well, I still think Dare to Dream kind of thing. It's really not out of the realm of possibility because these two things, like let's say this 10% goes away. With this 10%, there's a crap ton of overhead here. I think Windows has at least $1 billion probably in overhead when you factor in kernel team and all the massive support team and compatibility. And there's so much that goes into making Windows. Really, I think it has the biggest overhead of all the products we see here. And I think if they pushed all this to Linux, from an overhead standpoint, I mean, they probably would lose a little money. But it would also be a much cleaner, leaner team that they would need because most of that development would be just outsourced at that point if they used Linux. So using a Linux subsystem for Windows and having all of the Microsoft stuff and Adobe and all that other crap that people care about work on Linux, actually, I think would be in Microsoft's interests. And it's not even to say that Windows would disappear. Obviously, it wouldn't disappear overnight. But having that and having everyone move there, it's not going to affect either of these buckets. If anything, it would probably slightly increase both Azure and Office buckets. Probably Office by a good margin. I bet they could add another percent or two onto Office just from adding Linux compatibility through like a subsystem in Linux. So you have those things that would actually get increased in revenue, and nobody would just desert Windows right out of the gate. So I think it would be a net win all the way around. Looking at it from a business perspective and how Microsoft makes money, believe it or not, the vendor lock-in, well, it made sense 20 years ago with Linux being cancer and, you know, most of the revenue coming from Windows because the Azure bucket wasn't even there. Office was just a fraction of Windows back then because that's all it worked on. Now, these are subscription-based services. Hell, half of Office users probably just use it on the web, too. So it makes sense to say it's not as far-fetched as you think. Microsoft is known for Windows, but really, how beneficial is this old guard of Windows? I would argue to say not that valuable. It's really not. All this old Windows code, it's the spaghetti code. The kernel's freaking ancient. It's awful. It's very insecure. It's not a good setup. The file system's atrocious. If you need any examples of this, let me give you a couple. When you install a program, it can install on 10 different fucking places in Windows. Let's just break this down really fast. Some things can get installed. Well, it can get installed into C users public, and then it could be a public app. Or it could get installed into C Windows apps, which is like a hidden folder if it gets installed through, like, let's say the Microsoft Store. And that can have various installation points depending on the user that's installed. If it was installed with admin rights, those types of things do matter. You have C program files, which is kind of a tried and true location, but is it 32-bit or 64-bit? On the application. So it'd be program files x86 or regular program files. Or let's say it just does its own thing and just installs into the root of C. You know, you don't see that very often anymore, but still a possibility. You could have portability. You could have it install through locally on the user. I mean, there's a lot of different places these things can end up. And then on top of that installation, you have the old school Windows registry you have to deal with, which that's a whole thing too. So you got the Windows registry. Guys, I really am, I'm struggling, really struggling to say it's not in Microsoft's best interest to make a subsystem and completely open up their whole ecosystem. I think Windows at this point is more of a hindrance to Microsoft revenue than it is a help. I would make that use case. I would make that case to the Microsoft board and say, hey, we have this whole thing. It's only getting worse. It's got this spaghetti code made by a bunch of old people that no longer work here. It has all this crap lock-in. We get a bunch of shit for just always screwing it up. What if we start to transition away from this? All our revenue's coming from other sources now. Why are we bothering with Windows? I'm just saying, there's a case to be made for all this. There really is. I know it sounds crazy because, the Linux people have been pounding on this extend, extinguish, embrace, extend, extinguish drum from the antitrust suits from the late 90s for decades. But I honestly think Microsoft would be better off just moving to Linux all the way around. I think for the Linux purists out there, it's definitely unwanted bloat. But LoJack, we're talking, what if the world just all moved to Linux? They no longer would have to worry about any of this stuff. So I think it's kind of cool. I think there's a case to be made for that from a revenue perspective, believe it or not. Now, whether or not they have the skills to make that happen, that's a whole different question. Like what we just talked about is more from a business perspective. From a technical aspect, that could be a whole different beast. For sure. For sure. A whole different beast. Sorry. Still playing with this monitor. No monitor? Monitor. Okay. Right there. About 3%. What's your opinion of Ex Libre? We talked a little bit about it on stream the other day. I've always been a big fan of Xorg. From what I've looked at from Ex Libre, I would like someone to pick up the torch and do a lot of Xorg commits, because I've always liked Xorg and I'm a big proponent of DWM. But to me, it feels like I think it's Miguel's the guy that, or Enrique. Yeah, Enrique, I think, was the guy that picked up the torch with Ex Libre. A lot of his commits, I think, was proven to be less than stellar, and they didn't really improve or add any features, and they caused some regressions. I hope he succeeds, and I like Xorg. But what I've seen so far has not been very promising, is what I'll say with Ex Libre. I would remove a lot of the political language that he added. And anytime someone speaks in political languages, I immediately think of adult brain rot. I say it every stream, but I'm going to keep saying it because it's true. Anytime you get obsessed with politics, your brain dies. You become a stupider person because of it. So,
yeah, well,
you know,
the dude abides.
That's what I think. Thanks, Charlie, for the sub. And that's what I think. And there was a lot of political talk there, and, you know, Free Desktop banning him. Yeah, Free Desktop screwed up. But what's new? And it just feels like two people that really aren't very good at maintaining projects trying to maintain the project that I want to see succeed. So I hope he succeeds. I don't really have a very good expectation of it, but I hope it does well. But time will tell. And the thing that I would say about Ex Libre and why I don't write it off completely, because right now the track record's not great, and the whole production of it and the creation of it is not great either, for the reasons. But there is a case to be made that Red Hat is trying to kill Xorg, and there's a lot of people that have publicly posted everyone should move to Wayland, and that I have a problem with. I always, even if I don't use it, I would like to have the option to switch to it. And I think that's where I'd like, hey, I don't want to write this off. And I don't think you should write it off either. Always having those options is just a good thing. So when, let's say Red Hat does something nefarious, which, shit, there's plenty of examples of that happening, and Free Desktop making some bad calls, which, again, plenty of examples of that happening, you have another alternative that's not managed by either. So that's something I like. It's the same reason why I'm like, hey, I really use systemd pretty much all the time, but I'm happy that, like, Run It exists, and initd, and other things exist, other for system tools, initialization systems compared to just systemd. So I don't like just having one system, even if it's more obscure, but I do like the fact that somebody maintains other systems outside of the realm of corporate Linux, because I really distrust most of corporate Linux. Yeah, and I just don't trust big corporations. In the end of the day, they have to answer their shareholders, not you. And the thing that worries me the most about Linux is it's hard to make money in Linux, and that's a problem. It's not very attractive to talent. So the talent it does attract is typically autistic people. Not to throw any shade at autistic people or anything, but you know, I've dealt with enough Linux folks to tell you right now, most of them aren't quite right in the head, and they have some mental issues. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, I really just look at their code and I'm like, hey, is this good? Is it bad? And I'm like, okay, cool. I appreciate the contribution. You're crazy. I don't think I want to have a beer with you, but I appreciate you. And that's where most Linux people sit in my mind. Most of the normal people I've talked to that actually like make money in tech may use Linux, but they also use many other operating systems, and they also typically, if they're like selling software or something of that nature, typically are using Windows or Mac for programming purposes, because that's where all the money's made. And most Linux people are like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that, but it's the truth. And most of the Linux user base, especially on the desktop, just doesn't want to pay any money for anything. So it's just not a very good platform for monetization, which is fine, but it also means it's never really going to be mainstream. So that's also okay. But it's not going to stop these corporations from trying to make money in Linux. So it's like it's this weird, like, I kind of, this sounds terrible, but I kind of hope Linux just stays at 4% forever. I kind of hope Linux never really sees mass adoption. I think it would be awful. I kind of like the status quo of just autistic people running the show, and then you just go, okay, well, you guys are kind of crazy and stupid, but you do make some cool looking code and unique things that are different from everybody else. And I'm okay with that. I kind of like it because it's just so different. And you get all these different personalities and different examples of everything in Linux. So there's just an infinite rabbit holes to go down and explore. So I love that about Linux. And I kind of don't want that ever to change. I always want to kind of have like these giant weird communities. Yeah, I know it gets toxic and everyone tries to stab each other in the back, and people get consumed with politics and start talking just crazy shit that you just don't see in Mac and Linux, you know? So there is some bad to that. But what these crazy ass people do is kind of amazing, and they do it pretty much for free, which is also kind of amazing. And you really, I struggle to find another example of that anywhere out there. So a lot of times when I'm on these streams and we're messing around in Linux, I just really dig it. It's fun. It's like we mess around in Linux not because it's the perfect operating system, not because it's the most stable and reliable, not because of all these other reasons you hear online. We do it because it's just fun. It's fun to tinker. It's like, oh, wow, I can just make whatever the hell I want. I don't want to use a start menu anymore. I don't want to have a display manager. I just want to use the CLI. And you can. There's nothing stopping you. And I think that's just amazing. So that's kind of where I'm like, hey, I know it seems crazy sometimes. And yeah, there's these crazy left and right-wing politics going around in Linux, and they're all batshit crazy. But, I mean, honestly, what's the alternative here? You bring in the centrist get rid of the politics, and then you just have like the corporate bros of both Windows and Mac. That just seems boring. It seems like this mundane, give me the crazy autistic people any day. Give me the crazy FOSS people who's like, everything has to be open source and free, and it's the future, man. Everyone should do this. I'm like, all right, bro. Need some of that drugs you got, because that is amazing. I would love to get on board with that. But I'm gonna just yoink your code real fast, and we're gonna have some fun. I like it. So I mean, again, I don't want to be all doom and gloom. about Linux. And I think it's actually a great state where it's at. I know it feels like it's all like a nightmare, but it really is fun. It's really great. And if you only use Windows, I think you're missing out on all this crazy, bleeding edge, weird window managers and different shit that happens in Linux. It's just really cool. And it's fun to use your computer that way. When was the last time you ever had a Mac person go, man, I turned on my computer. Did you see the update? We got a new wallpaper. Oh my gosh, we got Google, what is it? Apple ass or liquid ass or whatever it is from Apple. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's what they get hyped about. Like the big fanboys of Mac and Windows, which there's very few these days. Nobody uses those or passionate about anything. But Linux people, good lord, you make fun of a Linux person's window manager, you might die. You might get some death threats. You might have someone show up at your door. You know, I'm just saying, that is cool, scary, and neat all at the same time. Yeah. Well, your Linux script working on any Linux distro? Pretty much outplayed. We tried it. Yeah. And Linux people know how to track people online. I think probably one of the biggest fallacies, too, that you see in the Linux realm is like all Linux users are technically literate. That ain't true. That's like when I first jumped on Linux desktop, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of really, really smart people in Linux. And then after I used it, chatted with the community a bunch, and then got around, I was like, oh, no. Like 50% of them don't know their ass from an elbow. They've just used that distro for a long ass time, and they just kind of know that one thing. Cool. All right, let's go. I can learn something from that, but there's only so much. And most of them are not very literate. And that's okay. That's okay. But that's why you also get like people who go like, everything works. Everything just works. You grab this old piece of crap laptop and just load Linux on it, and it's going to be magical. All hardware works. NVIDIA's fine on Wayland. You know, all the crazy comments you hear. Most of them just aren't very literate. Until it doesn't. It's so true. How much of your job has been learning Windows trivia? All of it? 90%? I have like 11 different Windows certifications. I started with an MCP. Got a... How was it? Small business server, I think was my next one. SBS 2003. Followed by a Windows 2000 cert. And was it? MS Systems Engineer after that. MCSE. 2003, and then I got my MCITP for 2008, which was like Vista era, followed by Windows 7, and what was my last Windows cert? I think my last Windows cert would have been 2008 R2. So that would have been circa 2009, 2010. And then my last professional cert I got was 2016, and that was Citrix. So, quite a bit of Windows knowledge, but yeah. Did we ever finish our update, by the way? I think we did. Let's reboot. Oh, actually, what do we have? Did this? Oh, yeah. So we fixed that. So if you ever need to repair your repair of Win, yeah, we can do that. Because Christoph wanted to know about that earlier. Let's close that out. Did you ever consider jumping to program? Why yes, why not? I'm actually doing a lot more programming, and I've really enjoyed programming. You know, I kind of like where I'm at, where I just can work on the different programs and projects. And the best thing about what I do with everyone that like watches me here on YouTube, all that stuff, is a lot of developers that are way smarter than me find me, talk with me, and go, hey, I want to do this. And then they contribute code, and I'm able to learn from their code. So to me, I have like this supercharged resource that's better than any kind of monetary reward I could ever get on any of these social media platforms. And that's really developers contributing to my projects on GitHub. Dude, it's amazing. Like the linutil, the winutil, all that stuff, that all those things wouldn't be where they were or are today without all the contributors and other people that I'm able to learn from. It's been absolutely amazing, and that's my favorite part of just talking to programmers. Some of them are crazy, yes, but I love them all. And it's really, that's the best thing about what I do. The just discovering GitHub. Like, people don't realize I didn't know even how to use GitHub in 2020. Like, yeah, I could pull it up. Yeah, I could download releases. But like actually using Git, understanding how to do, commit, understand the difference between Git commits, pulls, pushes, and then full releases. And even this year, I'm still learning different commands, from cherry picking to, I think, hard resets to different commits when I screw something up inevitably, or I take a bad commit or a bad PR. All those things, like the pull requests and all the different intricacies of Git, has been probably the most useful thing I've ever learned in my life. It has been so powerful, and we've been able to create so much just from that one resource of learning GitHub. So I think a lot of people ask the question, what programming language should I learn? And really, that's the wrong question. It's like, do you know GitHub inside and out? If you know GitHub, you don't even need to learn the damn programming language. You can just go get sample code, get like a simple project, start creating it, and then just go to town and then blow it up. Oh, that didn't work. Revert the commit you just did, blow it up again, and just keep doing it. You are going to learn so much. You're going to learn that language. You're going to be better off than going to school and all that other crap that people do. It's amazing. So I don't know how I got on that rant, but let's reboot this thing. let's go. Let's go reboot this thing, shall we? Yeah, crazy programmers are the best programmers. I think it's just neat. It's neat seeing new ideas. That's like the thing I love about AI too. Like, as much as, most programmers crap on AI, AI is really cool for getting like weird ideas. Like, hey, AI, write this function for me. And then you look at the function, you're like, that's awful. But that's kind of interesting how it did this part of it. I might steal that. And that's cool. That's what I love most about AI. Same thing when it comes to programming. Crazy people, AI, GitHub. Man, it's just a recipe of being able to kind of do everything without ever needing a company, without ever needing a lot of things. Like, think of what you can create. If you're able to, like, you don't need to draw a steady paycheck right away. You could create stuff and sell that thing without a company and make a boatload of cash just by yourself. It's really that cool. And I think that's where we're at. That's why I'm so excited. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, dude, this is amazing. I can't believe this is my life. I am lucky. Oh, support Hyprland. Let's donate to Vaxry. Let's see, how much does he want? Ko-Fi. Or you can do crypto. What crypto does he accept? Oh, okay, one time. Oh, it doesn't even say. Doesn't even show the crypto here. Anyways, that's cool. Wait until Baxter's new Hyperland account program. So the cool thing about Linux is people will just fork it. They'll just fork his project and be like, yeah, okay, Hyperland. Baxter completely went bonkers. He went full Bill Gates on us. We gotta fork it. I don't think that'll happen though. I don't see Vaxry doing that. Donate $6.90 to him. Oh, that's cool though. Yeah, if you do love Hyperland and you use it all the time, I think you should probably donate. That's just a good idea. Oh man. Let's see. I thought I closed that properly, but I bet not actually. All right, well. So be it. Last time, the one thing about Hyperland where I'm kind of like, I don't know. Last time I checked Hyperland, let's see. The one thing that worried me most about the project was this. Well, actually, he has a good bit of contributors, so it's been a little bit since I saw it. No. It's gotten a lot better since the last time I saw it. So, like a couple years ago when I first looked at it, or actually, I think I looked at it right when it released, and I think it was 2023. And there wasn't this many contributors. But now he's got some decent ones where it looks pretty good. Although his contributions have, or his commits have gotten considerably less. It could be he's doing larger commits too. Or he could just be spending more time on Twitter. I don't know. But yeah, he's got a good bit of contributors now. So that's actually good. That's a good, healthy thing. Like, I mean, shoot, by Windows, like my Windows utility is a little more sparse than that, probably. Let's see. What's our contributions look like? I kind of go in waves. Yeah. So this originally was created in 2000 under the term Win10 script, I think it was, and then I switched it to WinUtil in 2022 with a whole huge refactor. But you can see like Drift, OG, Martin, Coding Wonders. But yeah, that's pretty solid. I've gotten a lot more consistent, but still not as consistent as Vaxry, so who am I to talk? Pot calling the kettle black here. Good night. All right. Did you see that from Windows 11 version 22, 23H2 to 22, 24H2, the supported processor list changes? Some CPUs are supported with 23H2, but not in 24H2. Could be a trend to force people to buy new PCs like phones. This can be reverted. That's actually just an artificial limit in the registry. If you use MicroWin, you should still be able to use 24H2 on those unsupported processors. So it doesn't matter. That could easily be rolled back. So not too bad. Yeah, that's true. Hyperland has gotten a lot more solid. Maple, that's a very good point. I remember back in 0.2, it was the first version I tried. I think it was 0.24, 24. So subversion 24. That one was way more rough around the edges than what we've been using here, because I've been on this for almost a full month now, and it's been pretty solid. I would like to take a look at your quick shell code. Please do. You can go... Almost everything you see is on my GitHub. So I don't necessarily do it for you guys. I do it so I can get free code review. So people can go, hey, Titus, you code like a 3-year-old child. Here is your fix. Gosh, noob. I look forward to those PRs. So I love it. Why do you choose an NVIDIA GPU instead of an AMD one? Because I'm a sucker for punishment. I hate myself. That's why. If you're using Linux and you choose an NVIDIA GPU, it's proven fact. You hate yourself. Or you dual boot. And you have a really nice NVIDIA card. And you really want to use like the encoder, which again is not really all that great in Linux, but or you do any kind of video production software like DaVinci Resolve. Oh my god, the difference between AMD and NVIDIA is like night and day. But besides those reasons, yeah, you just hate yourself if you use NVIDIA and Linux. And I'm a little crazy, if you haven't gathered from this stream. A little crazy. Might as well give you... Yeah, send it over, Hugh. I love seeing new quick shells. Let's do it. Link it in chat. I use NVIDIA because I couldn't find an AMD. Fair. That's fair as well. Well, that's every commit history of mine. I need to do clean PRs on my projects, but one of these years. I don't know what to say, man. Xorg did not receive contributors other than Ex Libre since years. Maybe Red Hat made this result. Maybe not. It's the truth. Well, yeah, so the contributors with the whole... We talked a little bit about Ex Libre earlier. It's seen some contributions. Some from Enrique. I think probably the best video that explained it up the best take on that. Here, I'm gonna link it in chat. Actually, it was on YouTube. Brody just did a video. I don't know. Huh. Yeah, this was it.
I opened my dick.
Ooh. All right, let's copy that. Here you go. Yeah, this was the video from Brody. If you're interested in the Ex Libre, I liked his take on it. I thought it was a very good summary of the contributions and also kind of the fork itself. I thought Brody did a good job of kind of being a neutral party and kind of explaining the whole thing. It was a good breakdown. I loved it. Yeah, he called out free desktop, but at the same time, he also kind of showed the weak points or the chinks in the armor from the Ex Libre folks too. So it was a really well done where he was like, "Hey, y'all kind of both suck on this, but let's see where it goes." Ah, here we go. Got some new dot files. Let's go. Let's see. Oh, I like that. Workspace. I kind of like the dots. Compared, you got your sys tray right there. And the dots up here, that looks like probably like some kind of visualization thing. And then the calendar right over here on the left. It's not so bad. So you got CPU, memory, CPU temp, and then your battery over here on the right. Okay. Let's give it a whirl. Let's see, what do we have? Oh. You're using Lazy Vim. Oh, I like Neovide. Quick Shell, Rofi. Oh, look, the shell's pretty simple, though. You just... Okay. So there's your shell clock. Well, that's not all of it. Where's the rest of your quick shell? I think you're missing some files there, man. There's no way that was the whole bar. Yeah. Dot files look a little bit wrong. What's going on here? Typically for dot files, I like to put dot files instead of the dot config quick shell. So I would remove these two upper directories. And then, yeah, it looks like you're missing some modules here. Oh, that's Waybar. Okay. Yeah. I was about to say, there's not enough there to do. Looks pretty. But yeah. I was gonna yoink some of the stuff, but yeah, that's just Waybar. I was like, oh! And then I was like, wait, all I see is the clock widget and the shell from quick shells. Not really there. It's because I use Stow. You know, I think I installed Stow Pack, Stow Linux. So, Symlink, Distinct Manager. Is this like how you do your dot files into Git? Yeah. I remember I did a video on Stow, I think. Was I using Stow or was it enough? No, I don't think it was Stow actually. I looked at Stow for it, but I ended up using a different project, which I have since gotten rid of completely as well. Where I was like, screw it. I'm just going to do independent Git repos for each one, because what ended up happening is people started doing commits to my dot files, and then it just became a huge mess. So I was like, one for quick shell, one for bash, one for, you know, what I was using was an easier way of managing it, since we had so many contributions. Chesmoy, that was it. Yeah, or however you say that. I'm saying it wrong. I remember somebody in the comments like, oh, you're saying it wrong. I'm like, have you not watched any of my videos? I say all the terminology wrong. Shemawa. Maybe? Did I get it? Yeah, good luck on your journey, man. I love that you're getting into Linux though. That's always a good one. It's always so fun. I think you just pick dot files and kind of figure out what you like, what you don't like, and then kind of make your own hodgepodge Frankenstein mess. All right, check out this rice. What do we got? I think let's see if I've seen this. It's always Nix. Yeah. We saw this the other day. That was a very cool rice. We were looking at this just the last stream we did. It's a very, like, this is what's possible with quick shell. That's where I'm like, man, that's neat. I don't know. Let's try to steal it. Let's. I think we looked at it, but I don't think we did this. Let's grab the dot files. What do we have? Ugh. Fish. Gross. Okay, he's doing an overhaul. Huh. Oh, dang. Look at the GitHub stars. This is probably his post in Reddit and it just skyrocketed. Vaxry did not make one, Hugh. That is private, sir. Yeah, that's a crazy star history right there. Yeah, Vaxry, I asked him. I was like, Vax, I need your quick shell config. It looks awesome. And Vaxry was like, no. He's like, let me get you a couple other examples. Here's who I pulled from. And he sent me a couple GitHub repos I could pull from. And he was like, but you can't have mine. It's mine. It's only mine. I'm a greedy little goblin. I'm not going to share you my click shell config. And I was like, fine. Thanks for making Hyprland. Your obsession of anime girls. Guess I will just try and get good. But, it would be nice to have your configs, Vaxry, and quick shell config. But I get it. If you don't want to give it to me, that's fine. Just fine. Just hoard it from me. That's okay. My precious. It's mine. But I mean, that's like most Linux rices. Most people like look at them on like Reddit. Is you'll find like most of them are completely incomplete, and I think many of the people that do the rice, they sit there and hacked at it for so long that they don't even know how the hell they created it. So I'd say like more than 50% of the crap you see on like Unix porn would be just that. Like all these rices you see, they're hacked solutions that are almost not able to be replicated. But dude, they look cool as hell. Yes, it uses Qt libraries. Hyprland was my main for like a year. i3 makes me happier though. Really? Phoenix, why? Why does i3 make you happier? Is it because of the simplicity? Because the same defaults? The small amount of dependence needed to make i3 work? Or is it just because you're crazy and autistic like most Linux users? Yeah, River's still a thing. Yeah, River's still there. We looked at River not too long ago. Yeah, it was supposed to be. There's some differences between Sway and i3. I never have really gotten into Sway. I've never really enjoyed it that much. I don't know why, but I just haven't. Boring is good for me. I don't want to spend all day tinkering. Hit the nail on the head there, Phoenix. I think that's why I choose DWM a bunch. Because it's just boring, it works, and I don't ever have to tinker with it. Sometimes I just want to get shit done. And it's like, let's go. What's your monitor setup look like? You're gonna judge me. I don't want to tell you. You're gonna think, my God, Titus is an old man. It's 1080p. It's a Fire Legend discount monitor off of Amazon that's a complete pile of poo. And it's awful. And I've been using it for like 3 years. Because I'm stubborn and I'm just a complete cheap ass. I have problems, man. I just have problems, and I don't understand why I am the way I am. I think it goes back to what I said earlier about Linux users. A lot of people were thinking I was projecting, and well, I probably was projecting. I think I'm a bit autistic, too. I feel like I'm a little bit crazy, and a little bit mentally unstable, if we're being honest. I think that's all true as well. That's probably why I use Linux and why I just love tinkering around and having fun in it. To me, it's just, this is great. I think it's great. But yes, I would not recommend my monitor setup to anyone. Anyone. It's awful. But here's the thing. I'm going to quote the great Todd Howard here. It just works. I mean, if it works, it works. That's what I'm saying. You know? And I'd love to tell you it's great for streaming, but let me show you. Let me show you. Let me just show you some of the main issues I have. Render. One of the main issues I have with this thing is sometimes it defaults to like a 144 hertz. And then that throws off my capture card software, and then it turns up and doesn't work properly. However, sometimes I can switch it to like a 120 hertz and it captures it just fine. But it just depends. Like there's this weird back and forth. But since I capture my screen all the time and I'm doing stuff, I just was like 1080, 60 hertz is probably the best, even though a higher refresh rate would probably be better for my eyes. I end up casting, I end up recording so much out here that it's just like, I don't ever want to switch back and forth. It's just a pain in the ass. And I'm just like, whatever. I'm just going to live in 1080, 60 like a caveman, like a Neanderthal. Yeah. Yeah, 120 is a factor of 60, so it should work. But it's best just to go 60 at this point. It's like, hey, it's probably not worth it. I need to start titling these streams like just random rants, because we didn't even get to the Hyprland script today, did we? I just sat here and rambled. I think the next title of the stream is just going to be Linux, Windows, and then just like not elaborate at all. But even then, I'm going to be like, if I title it Linux, inevitably I'm going to pull up Windows and start messing with the WinUtil. Computer. What we've done so far. Yep. It's still fun though. I still love streaming. I just and sometimes I do get stuff done. Like I did update my system. Like we did if we look at our fast fetch, we did update to the latest Bazite. We got all our stuff up to date. Right? Yeah. We're pretty much up to date. So that's all good. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, it has been 2 hours. Well, I wanted to get to streaming more, and that's the thing. Like I was like, I need to get back to it because I found myself kind of slipping, and from a productivity standpoint, and not creating as much. And it's easier to get feedback from people. Like a good thing from today was the Christoph dropping into chat and going, "Hey, repair WinGet package manager is not working as a command." And I was like, "Oh well, it should if you're on 24H2 because that's what it used to be." But apparently something happened with our installs, or certain versions of 24H2 just didn't have that module. So we created a gist today, and we put that in chat to repair it. Now, what I can do is do like an if statement on launch of WinUtil and say, hey, is the repair-WinGet package manager command available? If it's not available, go ahead and install the module from PS Gallery, import the module, and then we can use it when we go to install programs. So that's cool. And now I know that's something we need to do from a programming standpoint, but that would have never happened if I didn't hit start streaming. So there's like little things like that that's really intangible things that happen when you stream, where I'm like, oh, I probably would have never gotten there to that thing, even though it was like a rambling mess for some of the stuff. Pilot.tech seemed like a risky click, not gonna lie. Next gen, and did we send this? I think we looked at this, right? It looks cool. Now, Phoenix, you are on i3, you said, but you've given me a lot of Windows content. You use both operating systems, do you not? Are you a pass-through guy? Are you a dual boot guy? How do you have your setup? I'm kind of curious now. It's been on kind of all over the map. So you can go essential license for $40 for this. I mean, it looks cool though. I think that's neat. Filepilot.tech. It's a terrible address from a marketing standpoint though. Bro, whoever the creator of this, dude, you could have like put some more effort in the domain name, right? Just saying. Oh, you could just install the beta exec. What's your opinion on mainframes, Copilot, COBOL, PL1, especially if there are job offers that offer $3K per month after taxes? Am I way off base here? But $3K a month is not enough. €3K a month is, you know, what? Maybe 4K American? 4K American, you're looking at $48,000 a year? What? $48,000 a year for working on COBOL mainframes and stuff? Bro, you should be making six figures. It should be at least 6K euro. Gotta be six figures working on COBOL and PL1. Most of the guys that know those really well are retiring or gone. So you can make a shit ton of money doing that. Way more than 50K a year. 60 a year in that case, but taxes, bro. Yeah. Yeah, taxes are always the devil, man. The tax man cometh and he taketh. Yeah, but yes, no, I think that's a very good thing to go into. It's a definite needed skill, and most people coming out are not going to be able to work on that very well, you know? And it's not something that AI might assist you with as a tool, but you're going to need a human to do all that, troubleshoot it. It's I think a high demand because a lot of people just won't update from COBOL. €60K like living costs where you live though. Yeah, it depends on where you live. That's true. Yeah, I look at that and I'm like, ooh. A lot of these tried and true jobs I think aren't going anywhere. Like I mean, I hate to use this as an example. It's not exactly a complete parody, but it's close. It's still a six-figure paying job, is welding. You know, welders are, I think the average age of a welder last time I checked was like 63 years old. So, I mean, that's like very, very old. So welding could easily net you six figures, especially as a young person going on as an apprentice, because not very many people are doing it at that age. So here in like 5-10 years, those welders are going to be in such high demand. You know, you're going to be able to just write your own ticket. You know, you could work under somebody, work for a company for like 4 or 5 years, and then splinter off and do your own thing once you get enough networking done, and you could just do your own business at that point. Pipeline welders making $200K a year. Yeah, I mean, pipeline welders, that's a pretty rough go. You know, but if you're like a single guy, maybe do that for a year or two, bank it up. You know, you could even do like a fire type situation, you know, where you retire early and just live your best life. So, you know, I kind of did something like that where I was, you know, in my 30s, I worked my ass off, working a six-figure paying job that I really hated. But I immediately, as I did that, I was like, this sucks. I hate this. It's too much responsibility. And I tried to save as much as I could, pay off as much as my debt as I could, so I wouldn't have golden handcuffs. Because a lot of people, when you make more money, you actually spend more money. It happens. Believe it or not, you're like, hey, if I just doubled my salary, trust me, even when you double your salary, you make up for it by spending. And I think the best way to spend is just to pay off all your debt, as much of it as you possibly can, and then try and squirrel away as much as you can before you get your paycheck, whether that's 401k, whether that's savings, all those things, and then just sit on it. And then if you can pay off everything, your house, cars, whatever, and then just own everything outright, then you can just tell everyone to F off and just do whatever the hell you want. You can just load up Twitch and stream about Linux all day long. Yeah, you know. But yeah. I mean, it's not for everybody though. You know, a buddy of mine jumped in my car and he's like, dude, I thought you made decent money. You're literally driving an 11-year-old car at this point. Are you ever going to get a new car? And I'm like, not until this one breaks, I'm not. That sounds like a big expense. That sounds like more work I got to do to pay for the car. I don't want to do that. I like my life. I like not doing very much work. That's awesome. Don't ever let anybody tell you different. Don't buy a bunch of expensive shit. Just try and make as much money as you can, save as much as you can, pay off everything that you can, and then just, dude, not doing anything is awesome. That's just the dream. You know? I'm not replacing this piece of shit Fire Legend monitor until this thing croaks. Until I get a big ass line down the screen or it just goes black forever. This piece of crap $60 Amazon monitor running at 1080p 60 is what I'm going to be broadcasting to you on until it dies. Because I don't want to do more work than I have to. Watch. Be like, check out my new crib, guys. Let me do a little tour. We're going to get on the thing and walk around. And we go down to Goodwill, pick up a $20 monitor. That would be awesome. That'd be so great. Yeah. But yes, getting back to the original question, COBOL is, I think, something that will always be in demand. Hell, I think like the nuclear program here in the States, all of their systems are still written in COBOL. So that's going to need to be maintained. It's going to still need people to understand what the hell COBOL does. It's not like AI is just going to take... Oh, God. Could you imagine if they let AI take over that? Oh, my God. Be awful. Yeah. Anyways, I don't have... 2025 year to links to maybe. Yeah. I just so you all know, learn COBOL. Retire early. That's the plan. That's the play. That's the 1,000 IQ play right there. Let's see. Learn X in Y minutes, where X equals COBOL. COBOL is a business-oriented language, revised multiple times since its original design in 1960. All right. Here's a simple hello world. Easy. Very readable. Okay. Mm-hmm. That doesn't look too bad. Why was it ever replaced? My first language actually was BASIC. Yeah, so BASIC was a little bit weirder, I thought. I mean, COBOL, I think, makes more sense. As I remember, yeah, 10, 20, all the lines had to be numbered in this method. So you actually wrote the 10, the 20, the 25, 30 and you parsed them all apart like this. It was so strange. I think I was using Borland for that. Borland had a suite. I think it was just Borland QBasic or Microsoft QBasic, I think is what I was using at the time when it was just DOS. It was a little weird. But yeah, that was my first language. And then C++, I think, is what I moved from there. I don't know them very well. Don't get me wrong. I was very young, but fun. But yeah. Oh, so much fun. They also offered another job with the same conditions. Pega developer. What the hell's Pega? I'm out on that. I've never even heard of that. Why don't I know this one? Is this like some Scrum bullshit? What is it? Does anybody... Okay, quick glance at a language. Okay. So let's go to Pega. Okay, learn xandYminutes.com. Let's go Pega. Okay, Pega's not on here, so it must be like some kind of DevOps bullshit. Talk about a dead career path, DevOps. What a freaking joke. Modern software development's just doomed. Spoken by the guy that's a hobbyist. Me. This is just an AI troll, isn't it? It's just an AI article. It's just a bunch of words that mean nothing. God, the web is just such a cluster F right now. Ugh. Rux, I'm sorry. Rex is like, wait a second, I work in DevOps. I'm sure you're a good sysadmin, dude. I'm sure there's other stuff. But like, yeah, I was talking more about like the guys graduating college with like doing sprints and Scrum and all the other BS. This guy parking in front of my house and doing lawnmower shit again. Of course he is. He's got a Ryan lawnmower he just parked. All right, I guess that's my cue. All right, y'all. I am out till another day. We will meet again and shall do more productive things. Or just yap and talk about yell at cloud kind of moments. I think that's it for today, though. It was fun. Sprint, planning, poker, CPP, OOP. All suck. I agree. This, me and Phoenix have some disagreements, but in this, you get my thumbs up there. I think you just got to go do the thing. Oh god, I had to dip in the Charlies. I had to go TTY0 in a mains bomb. Yeah, but that's more sysadmin work right there. That's not DevOps in my opinion. So, yeah, and I still don't know what the hell Pega is. Maybe we ask AI next time. Can you add like a lamp stack for me? God. I need to set up a new WordPress website, man. Yeah. Yeesh. Alright. I'm out. This is all. Oh, we need to raid somebody. Here, I'm going to drop off old YouTube. Drop the old YouTubers off. I keep forgetting to launch my land mouse service. Alright. There we go. Bye, YouTube.